If you live in Arizona, in or around the Chandler area, and you're considering divorce, you'll love this tip from Christy Thompson of cmthompsonlaw.com.
What is joint custody and what is sole custody?
When you're talking about joint custody and sole custody, you're talking about the custodial rights of parents about their children. And so many times when a husband and wife are divorcing, they're giving some consideration as to what type of custody they could have. And custody covers a couple of different areas. It covers decision-making with regards to medical issues for your child. It covers also legal issues for your child, religious issues, as well as educational issues. So when you have a joint custody agreement, that means that both husband and wife will make decisions with regards to all four of those areas. A perfectly good example of that, Cindy, is when, say, for example, the mother, the father says, our child needs orthodontia. And unfortunately, the orthodontist doesn't take insurance, or only our insurance covers half of it. So I'd like to get braces on our son or daughter by next year, for example. Now, the other parent has to agree. And if they're unable to make a decision on something like that, and maybe the other party feels that they don't have the funds for it, or that maybe if they waited, that would be better for the child, whatever it might be, if the parties can't agree on something like that, and that's covered under a medical decision, then the parties can go to a mediator, and that mediator will make the final decision. But my point is that you make only decisions in those four areas together. And if you can't make them together, then there's a third party that steps in, like a mediator or the court, that makes a decision for you. Now, the other type of custody you can have is sole custody, and that's where just one parent is the final decision maker. So in my scenario about the orthodontia, if it was the mother that wanted the orthodontia and she also was the sole custodial parent, she wouldn't have to consult with her husband, her ex-husband, I should say, or the father to make a decision like that. She says simply go ahead and do it. Sole custody is not particularly popular in Arizona, and the reason being is the court really believes that there should be two parents making decisions, because when there isn't another parent there to make a decision because sole custody is in effect, you're really parenting with the court. Ultimately, the court may not like the decisions that you've made with regards to your child. So the court is very pro-joint custody. And again, it's just in those four areas. So people do get hung up on terminology. And when you make a decision like whether it should be joint custody or sole custody, what has the decision-making been in the past? While the two of you were married, who was the parent that made the most decisions? Was it really a sole custodial situation where only one parent made the decision, or did you converse with one another? Because that's not going to change. You're still going to be parents even after your divorce. So it's a really sticky issue for a lot of people. And what the court looks to in making a decision about sole custody, they want to know that that other parent who's not going to have custodial rights, who's not going to be able to make decisions on medical, legal, religion, or education, is a poor decision maker. And proof, Cindy, of a poor decision maker is going to be drinking and driving. That's a good example. Drug use that can be proven. That's another good example. Or, sadly, domestic violence that's occurred in front of the child. So the court really has a very high standard before they will take away someone's custodial rights. And so in order to obtain full custody, if the other parent doesn't agree to it, you do have to go through those steps and have actual proof of domestic violence in front of the child, of a drinking and driving problem, like a DUI that's happened within, say, a year of the divorce, or a substantial drug problem that you can prove. And so that's really what you're looking at when you talk about joint custody or you're talking about sole custody.
Thanks, Christy. We appreciate you answering our questions. If you have specific questions for Christy or would like to find out more about filing for divorce in or around Chandler, Arizona, visit Christy's website at cmthompsonlaw.com.